up, dance up, get up, sing up, get up, change everything.
Global Citizen Circle celebrates 50 years of radical civil dialogue and behind the scenes peace building from Northern Ireland to South Africa. Looking at the world today, this work is needed now more than ever. Women's rights, civil rights, human rights, raising the voices of youth are at the heart of our mission.
The culture of GCC is inclusive and it's intergenerational.
I think Global Citizen Circle to me has been a place that has given me and my organization a platform for our voices to be heard. But I think it's also given us courage in a lot of ways.
You forget how important, not just how important the international solidarity is, but how important champions are. And that's how I see the global citizens, because they truly are global champions.
Global Citizen Circle is a happy place to me and will remain in my heart because it really changed my life.
On the conjunction of 50 years of the existence of this organization, I hope the work done has a more global impact and affects every single youth out there, giving them the chance to be inspired and inspire others as well.
Know that peace begins where you are, from small acts of kindness to building movements for change. You are a part of a global community. 44 years ago, Gloria spoke at a GCC event entitled Feminism Today.
I only want to remind you tonight that what we are talking about is a revolution and not a reform.
Hi, everyone. Go ahead. Sorry, Sakshi.
Oh, no, no worries. Thank you so much for joining today's circle and a warm welcome to everyone. My name is Sakshi Chandra, the youngest board member of Global Citizen Circle. I am very excited and a little emotional that I get to share space with Gloria and all our wonderful speakers, but especially also in the kickoff to our 50th anniversary year. For me personally, this space and the conversation that it holds has never been more important, especially the conversation today, but also never been more critical to bring and hold diverse voices, perspectives, and ideas where we openly and without judgment listen to each other. I would like to recite a poem that Gloria wrote at the occasion of her 60th birthday. I hope to be an old woman who dresses very inappropriately. Women in business dress in man-style suits and treat their secretaries in a man-style way. Women on campus wear masculine thoughts and look to dad for good grades. Married women give their bodies away and wear their husbands' wishes. Religious women cover sinful bodies and ask redemption from God, not knowing she is within them. Dear Goddess, I pray for the courage to walk naked at any age, to wear red and purple, to be unladylike, inappropriate, scandalous, and incorrect to the very end. I hope to be that old lady too, Gloria, and join you there.
I thank you so much for reading those words, which I will again try to live up to. Thank you.
Absolutely. I would like to now introduce Jamia Wilson, an activist, a feminist, a storyteller, and a media maker. Over to you, Jamia, for moderating the rest of the discussion. Thank you, everyone, again for joining today.
Thank you so much, Sakshi. That was amazing and powerful. And I'm still just feeling the beautiful buzz of taking in that poem, taking in this 50th anniversary celebration. Want to lift that up with joy. Congratulations. Half a century is a major milestone, and I'm very honored to be here with this very distinguished panel and also to be here talking on this occasion about a very important conversation, peace, patriarchy, and politics. First, I would like to introduce you to Gloria Steinem, femme de ma vie. For those of you who know French, you're one of the most influential women in my life, and I'm so proud to have been grown up with you in my life as a teacher and a friend. And it's wonderful to have this opportunity to be here together in community. You're a writer, a lecturer, and an activist and a feminist organizer. And I just want to say thank you for teaching me, in the words of John Lewis, how to make good trouble with joyful defiance. And I also want to introduce you to Ibrahim Kakinda. He founded Access Youth Initiative in Uganda, a youth-centered nonprofit organization focused on amplifying advocacy efforts for women and girls and in addressing violence. And Firdos Khan, a member of the Delhi Commission for Women. They're actively contributing to the development sector for over a decade in very diverse capacities. And there's so much more that I could say about each of these people that would be a dissertation, and it still wouldn't be enough. So I would like to guide you to go online and to see all of their amazing work on the Global Citizen website, but also to look into their websites and see how you can support all the important endeavors that they're working on. So now I'm going to jump right into the discussion because I know that's what you came for. And I'd like to pose this first question to Gloria. You've said many times that we are likely to have nations without war if we grow up in families and culture in which men are not at war against women. It all starts in the family. Can you expand on your thinking about family gender dynamics in relationship to war and conflict, or also how power dynamics among genders are often learned in the home and how those can perpetuate injustice across the globe?
However unique and different and glorious our cultures are, we grow up in a family, perhaps an extended family, and the politics of that family will be normalized for us for a long time. We may change them, we may learn more, but it is still something that goes very deep. And that's where we first encounter patriarchy, certainly, because in many households, it is still the man who is more likely to rule, or even if it's only that he thinks he's ruling, but still. And though the woman is arguably certainly an equal partner and giving birth and caring for the household and everything she may be doing, she doesn't necessarily have an equal voice. And I say that just because when we think about revolution, we think, oh, that's so big and difficult and distant, that I can't have an impact on it. And we forget that the roots of revolution are in our living room, in our kitchen, and wherever it is we are living. And that gives us a deep and very basic way of making change.
Beautiful. That actually just brought an image to mind for me, so I just have to speak it. When you said that so much of the revolution happens at the kitchen table, I think about the feminist publications from the Kitchen Table Press,
Yes.
and how those are still so lasting, so insurgent. So it just is a really powerful message to also remind ourselves that it can start right here in the places we most frequent. And Ibrahim and Firdos, I want to hear from you about your personal experiences with this idea that peace begins in the family, and also in how we learn about and perpetuate gender dynamics. Ibrahim, can you start us off first?
Thank you, Jamia. It's a wonderful opportunity to be here and share my insights with the rest of the world through GCI. Yes, peace starts with the family. By the way, I take it starts internally within you as an individual. I myself, I grew up from my community a very particular community. It is a Muslim-dominated community where patriotism was the order of the day. I grew up in a community to the extent that women during those days were not allowed to eat chicken. So with all these cultural and social ties, widen the instability and the violence in the communities. So after seeing the widening gap between men and women, in right from my family to the community, I developed an attitude that no, there needs to be change because we live in one world. Discrimination, stigma cannot be part of us. So without a stable family, it is very rare to see that we can have stable communities, and neither can we have stable nations at large. So peace, beginning with the family, is the cornerstone of every peaceful resolution, whether it is a peace building mission. It starts with you. It's very hard to go on a peace mission when back at home, it is a fight. So I really support your idea that peace begins from the family. Maybe the pass over to Fedos for her comment.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and thank you, Jamia. And I'm very, very happy to be a part of a panel where Gloria ma'am is there. I heard about you a lot and had seen so many videos, the way you fight for the women's right. So according to me, I had numerous personal experience that convinced me peace and violence in the world originate within our family. The foundation of broader societal peace lies in our families. When the men in a house embrace a sense of patriarchy, believing it that it is right to control women's life, it's set a precedent of for children that I also have seen in my childhood. A boy may develop a patriarchal mindset while a girl learn to submit a male authority. I was born in a Muslim community in a slum of Delhi, India. Being a girl from Muslim community, on top of it, being a financially backward, there was a time when we don't have a food for a week. I've had pieces, and my family also has faces numerous amount of problems. My father was very discontent with my mother because she couldn't provide a son. I was the four girl child in my family. Uh, yeah. However, I don't blame my father for not like supporting us when I get to know the reason behind of it, that he himself a victim of patriarchy. uh, I think it is like a something that we have to understand each other. Uh, we have to give a space to our family member to understand and to know the cause behind of the particular action or reaction. So when I came to know that my father has also faced so many violences and he never ever feel the love from his family, so I understand that the person who if not seen the love, how he can serve a love to anyone. And he also did the child labor. I also did the child labor to sustain my family. Uh, and that's how I started working in the community as well. Since I was in ninth class, uh, despite my problems, I try to understand more about myself and to about more about society. I started teaching the street children, uh, where I help them to get admitted in the nearest school. Uh, I went to their area. There's a place in New Delhi. It's called Connaught Place, the central area of New Delhi, where so many children are living on the street and don't have any future that time. So I experienced that their families not like supporting me. They also blame me for so many things because their children were involved in the labor, in the bagging as well. So when they are going to school, they were not able to go for the bagging, because I admitted them into the day boarding school where they have to spend the whole day in the school. So there was a moment when parents came to me, and they were like shouting on me and tried to hit me with a uh, uh, liquor bottle, uh, and abuse me so much. So I just I that day I cried a lot. I was sitting on the road and just crying badly, and like just blaming myself that why I'm doing this, what I'm getting this from this. I don't want to do this. uh, and certain time I just feel relaxed, and then I think that uh, yes, the change is not easy, but uh, it is important and it is needed somewhere down the line, because the person who is shouting in me and the person who is abusing me and try to hit me, he also don't know what he's doing, because he never ever went to the school, never ever don't know the significance of the education, don't know the significance of the childhood, the freedom, the women's right, and the peace, of course. So that's how uh, the things I am still learning. uh, and Then I started a small a school for the street children. A group of young boys came there. I used to teach them. The Reuters has also covered this. And that time when Reuters approached me, I don't know what is media, and I was in my graduation, and I was very scared. Why are you asking so many questions to me? Why are you observing me? And because I just know the local news channel, but I don't know the Reuters. So that time I just taught them about the society, about the peace and the self. I think the self is the most important thing, because the children were involved in the child labor. They were a victim of the child marriages as well, as they belong from a state of India called Rajasthan, where the child marriage is still is a very high. uh, so even you can find the child in the womb is like engaging with the child who is just a 6 month old. So they even don't have a choice, a right to choice, even for like marriages is still a big thing, but even they don't have choice to go to the school, to go for the play, to go to the outside. That the I would say that was another turning point in my life when I interact with them. I learned so much about that how we can intervene in such kind of issues uh, with a prevention method. So now the thing is that the whole community is now stopped doing the child marriages. There are 8 villages who stopped the child marriage, and they also boycott the other families who are involved in the child marriage and child bagging, and also the violence against women. Now they are living more peacefully, happily. They are sending their children, whether a girl or boy, going to the school. They are supporting their education, and they also understand each other. And in fact, the most important impact of this initiative was, earlier they were used to give the vote at the just um, uh, for the liquor bottle, at the cost of the liquor bottle. Now they are asking for the education, now they are asking for their uh, water, now they are asking for their rights, now they are asking for schools, libraries, and the other things which can support their developments.
Thank you so much. So, when I hear all of the interconnectedness of your messages, but also the individual threads of the lenses that you provide, I'm thinking a lot about what it means to model peace and to be that peace, but also to be that love. Um, and I was thinking about Jimi Hendrix, who unfortunately I came into this timeline too late to actually go and see him play live. But he's one of my favorite musicians, and I see him as a cycle breaker, which is what I aspire to be in this life, but a visionary person. And he said that when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And so that was the through line that I was hearing from each of you, and I hear it in every chord that Jimmy plays into infinity. And I just wanted to sort of bring him into that room as well, that I feel like I learned something about liberation from a man who dared to think outside of what he'd been shown, which I think is what Firdos was telling us about, what does it mean to have compassion for perpetuators of harm who are perpetuating what they've seen, but it doesn't mean that they cannot transform into the peace and reclaim the peace that we're born with, that inherent birthright we have as humans to be that love. So I was just really moved by what all of you said in each of your contributions, but also wanted to say that it was very poignant for me. And so it brings me to another question. I recognize that you all live very whole lives. You're doing very dynamic work around the world. You're impacting people's lives in your work, but you also have your personal lives and your closeness and your loves. And I'm wondering, from your understanding from all of the things you are and all of who you are, what have been the most effective tools for making change for peace within and also peace outside of us?
Mm.
And Gloria, would you mind starting us off?
Well, when you say that, what comes to mind are talking circles. Something I think I learned from Wilma Mankiller, who was the chief of the Cherokee Nation here. And this continues in my living room and countless living rooms, I'm sure, with all of us, not so many, but what everyone can speak, but enough so it's diverse, right? Sitting in a circle in our living rooms or our tents or wherever it is we are. And in the Cherokee way, passing around a talking stick. So when you possess that stick, you are able to talk, and then you pass it to the next person. Because it includes not only talking, which often women or any less powerful group has not been allowed to do, but also listening, which powerful groups have not been trained to do. And it, whatever the subject matter and whatever the day, I recommend this as a kind of primordial form of making a community out of diversity and of learning.
Well, yes, beloved community. Thinking about that, and Dr. King, in the community of love and learning. And Firdos, can you speak to that for us too? And what comes up for you about the tools that you rely on in all of those aspects of your lives?
I think, according to me, basically the conversation and empathy is the most effective tool uh, uh, in my life, because I used to, I've been working since decades in Delhi and had a meeting with around 50,000 women, uh, despite their different strata. I have found that I had a conversation with, whenever I meet a woman, I just had a conversation and I just ask a question: what do you like? What do you like in terms of so they don't know that uh, what do you mean by it. So I just simplify the question: what do you like in food? And you know what? the women started crying. Like, some are saying me that nobody asked us till now about my likes and dislike, not in my maternal family, not in my in-laws families. So no one is interested in my likes and dislikes, so I never show that what I like, and I forget it. So there are thousands of stories where women share that they even don't have their favorite food since 10 years, 5 years, even 20 years as well. So I just encourage them, then you just have, you're like, you are involved, you are just feeding your family every day, even thrice in a day, thrice time in a day, but you are not even making a single dish for yourself. And that too, you are managing your whole family, despite your whether you are ill, whether you're having periods or you are pregnant, but still you are feeding your family what is your family wants, but you are not taking care about yourself. There was a meeting of 50 women, and I just asked them the same question, what do you like? So I just asked them about in the music, what do you, which is your favorite song? So as usual, they don't know their favorite song. There's one lady who said that I just know the music of that song. I heard it 20 years ago, but I don't know. I just asked it. It is a time of technology. You can just Google it. Just try to find. Have you put your effort to find the song? She said, I even don't think about it that I can put effort, my effort to find out my choice or my likes. So I just immediately Googled the song, and luckily I found that song, because I know when she just uh, like sing the little music. So I was able to find out the song, and I just played that song. It's just a matter of one, I think, less than 1 minute. I just played that song, and that lady's crying badly. She cried 5 minutes and hugged me. And that time I realized that it is very important to ask women about her choice. So it is not so big. I'm not asked, like, I haven't asked that whether you want to be a doctor, whether you want to lead the world or lead the country, lead the city. Is just a very personal and very basic, which you can do yourself. And you don't even know, you even don't need so many resources. But still, the thing is that she is not recognize herself. She is not giving the importance to herself. And my question is always with the women: if you are not giving the value, the respect to yourself, so it is very tough that to understand that the world will understand our value. So first, I think we have to understand ourselves. We have to give importance to ourselves. We must have to take care about likes and dislikes, so that we can be in a peaceful mind, and take care of our happiness, uh, so that we can do further in our lives. So that's how I'm still wondering. I always recently 4 days ago, I had a meeting with 300 women, and I asked the same question: tell me about your likes and dislikes. And so many women started crying. Nobody asked this question to us till now. And recently, so I think it's very uh, important for us to talk about ourselves, uh, especially when are in our family. If we're not talking about ourselves or our right in our family, I think it's very tough to talk about ourselves to outside the world. We have to start our journey from our homes. We have to start our uh, like freeing from our homes. I have been seeing so many changes in my homes. There was a time when I was not allowed to go outside for my extracurricular classes, even after 4 uh, p.m. in the evening. But now there's a time, my parents know that wherever I'm going, like as I am involved to rescue so thousands of women across the city, so I have to, oh, sometime I didn't come to home, I'm going on raid, rescuing girls and women's. uh, so I think that change, we can bring the change positively. And in the end of note, I want to say that the patriarchy is not only harmful for the women, it is harmful for the entire world, in human, all the mankind, because I have seen the men as well suffering from the patriarchy. So many men not don't know that what they are doing in their life. As I have talked to the young boys, those are the convicted in the POXO cases, in the GJ crime cases, uh, in the cases of stalking and eve teasing. They are just following their elder one. So it is very important to talk to them as well. It is very important because in India, you know what, I just want to share one thing. uh, the boy is handling the entire burden, the entire financial burden, and the girl is handling the entire home, and no one like uh, asking their choice. i I have a friend who don't want to earn, who just want to sit at home and do the household work. But if he will do this thing, so nobody is like able to accept it. They are also blaming why, like, you are not a man, you are not like behaving like a man. You have to go outside, you have to earn for your sister marriage, you have to earn for your house, you have to earn for the entire family livelihood. And at the same time, if the woman wants to go outside and do the same work, we are not allowing her, and we are saying her that see, you have to handle the house. And at the same time, they also blame her that what you do, you are just sitting at home, you're not doing anything. So I don't know, but I am still in my journey. uh, there's a Gloria ma'am, there's Ibrahim, and you. I love to learn so many things from you, and the Nidan ma'am who has joined us in this talk. And yes, still so many things in me. My father just passed away. Uh, he just passed away on 21st. And as everyone knows that women are not allowed for the last rituals, I try to go. See, when he died in my hand, in the hospital. There was no one, me and my brother with him. And when when the community is like taking him to the cemetery, they're not allowing me. They're saying that you are women, you cannot go, you cannot perform, allowing him to participate in in the last rituals. And the entire community against me, that your father will face so many issues in the hell or heaven, whatever the after the life, after the death. But my thing is that, see, this the thing that we all must have to understand, that as a family member, as a person, I also have the right to go. You know, I think this is something that people think that women are weak, so they cannot see the last rituals, and women are impure, so they cannot visit the cemetery, visit the mosque, or visit the temples. uh, and in my belief that I believe it, that we are very pure and we are very strong, and nobody, I think that we also don't say to women that you have to be strong. I think we are strong. We just need to tell the men to handle, to accept the concept of equality.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'm so sorry on behalf of everyone here. We're so sorry for your loss. And thank you for sharing of yourself and your story and holding it all with you. And, you know, speaking of equality and the men, Firdaus mentioned the men, and I feels like it's the perfect timing for me to ask you, Ibrahim, to tell us what those tools are that you're using to navigate within and without before we go into questions that we have for each of you from the audience.
Okay, thank you, Jamia. I believe peace is about love. It is an inner feeling. First of all, generating knowledge, changing mindset is very important. It's a very important tool in changing mindset. And also,
I hope you're well.
And also, access to education. We need to educate individuals, families, and communities. For example, my work has rotated more on engaging communities, engaging young people, religious leaders, parents, men and women, in building peaceful societies and communities. But it becomes a little bit hard to create the change needed when the communities themselves are not empowered. So generating knowledge, in most cases, the first aspect in creating peaceful communities. And also, I try to empower my communities not to always based on a single story. Because when we talk of conflict and violence, in most cases, it is a myriad of ideas, a myriad of views and beliefs, to the extent that it is very easy for someone to negatively act based on a single story. But when you create a thorough narrative of the situation, it can help you change the narrative, that instead of resorting to peace, maybe there is another way out of this situation. So I believe changing mindset, improving knowledge generation, and also empowering communities. Especially in my work, I've been working with the religious leaders to see that they come on board as change agents, not to see that they are part of the problem, but to be viewed as part of the solution. So as an important tool, I think education is very important, because it's through that we shall build the leadership skills of all the types of people we need to move along to create the necessary peaceful communities that we all desire in this world. Back to you, Jamia.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much to all of you for getting your questions in.
Hello, everyone.
I
I hope you're well.
We're all muting our computers right now, just in case we have calls coming in or anything like that, so we can make sure that we can hear all the contributions from our panelists. And I want to thank you all for showing up as your full selves. So the first question that I want to ask is for Gloria. And this is from Sudi T in Massachusetts. I hope I pronounced your name right. Gloria, what advice would you give to the next generation of feminists and activists who long for a more equitable and peaceful world, but are disheartened by what they're seeing in their homes, communities, and on the news?
Well, I guess my first advice would be, don't listen to me, listen to yourselves. And when you see something that is hurtful and unfair, whether it is in your own family or in the community or in school or whatever it is, say it. I mean, it corrodes us to keep silent. And if we say it, we are also quite likely to find someone else who has a similar experience and who will provide community for us. But it is very crucial just to realize our powers to talk, our powers to contact other people, our power to write if we can do that. And relief, it's such a relief just to say what you're feeling. The pressure of not doing that is huge. So whether it is around the kitchen table or in a classroom or in a neighborhood or whatever, or your family, whatever it may be, it will be a great relief. And you don't know what might happen. I mean, it's exciting. It's fun, interesting. It relieves frustration, ulcers, all kinds of problems. Just to say what you feel is unfair or could be better, or whatever it is, just say it.
Thank you. I love that so much. It's something that you've said to me when we work together, and I've really taken it to heart. I can hear you in my mind in the moment when I've thought about, oh, do I want to interrupt this dynamic? Do I want to be that woman again who's going to speak up? And I will hear you say, get mad on your own behalf. So I just want you to know it does work. For people who are going to be trying it out, you will hear Gloria in your head, and then you will be brave. So I also wanted to give one more question to Gloria right here that it's just come up as well, because I think it connects to the larger piece. So Marguerite Mariama in Chicago had said, Gloria, I saw you speak a decade ago, and something you said resonated with my spirit. You said that the young women you work with today, with them, you have found your tribe. Would you mind expounding on that statement?
My generation, I mean, I came of age in the 1950s, which was a very conservative age because the country was trying to get back to, quote, normal, unquote, after World War II, and trying to get women back in the kitchen and out of the defense factories and so on. So to resist that social and government effort was really the source of the beginning of my understanding of the women's movement. And it was really about confirming each other's reality by just speaking out, and by writing, and by daring to say I, or also we as women. Sometimes it was as simple as not identifying us by our marital status, which is where MS came from instead of Mrs. MRS. And for many years, the New York Times resisted this. So I, for instance, was Miss Steinem of Ms. Magazine. So it takes a while, but it's fun. It creates community. It creates change. If we make sure that we always take care to treat other people as we wish to be treated, then it will not be an authoritarian revolution. It will be an empathetic one.
Thank you. So I love that empathetic revolution. It also aligns with what we've been hearing from everyone today, the call for empathy and that being extremely important. So this is a question from Gloria Joy Foreman Alexandra Joy Foreman for Gloria. And that question is, Gloria, first of all, thank you. Thank you for all of it. In Latin America, like so many parts of the world, femicide is still prevalent on a daily basis. I feel that speaking out about it is no longer enough. And then Alexandra Joy Foreman says, a question for you, Firdos and Ibrahim. Do you think that we need to hold out for the end of patriarchy by declaring the end of marriage?
Was that for me, or is it no?
So it was for Firdos and Ibrahim, but I would love to hear what you have to say about it too. I'm
Well,
very
I mean, obviously, it depends on what we mean by marriage. If an equal partnership, whether of a man and a woman, two women, two men, that's one thing. But marriage, as we have known it, which has largely been the endowing of a legal identity to women by men, and the subsuming of everything, even your name, is way far from anything like the equal partnership that we know that marriage can be.
Yes, knowing you is why I still have the last name I was born with. So thank although I did get married.
Yes, me too. Of course, it's probably a patronym. You know, it's probably our father's names, right?
Yeah.
But still,
I
yes.
I
No, me too. I kept mine, right?
Yeah, I agree with Gloria, ma'am. She very well said that. Yes, even I was having a discussion about it, that there's a famous actress in India, as Kareena Kapoor Khan. She married a man, Saif Khan. He's also an actor. So she did not like disconnect the Kapoor. Her is the second name, surname. So the Kareena Kapoor is her name earlier, and she added the husband name with it, the Kareena Kapoor Khan. So I asked the women that whether the Saif Ali Khan, her husband, is also add the Kapoor in his name. So of course not.
Right. Yeah, well, we ended up with a lot of hyphenated names, which then when you have a child, you have to figure out how to do that. But I personally, because I spent a couple of years living in India when I first graduated from college, and was greatly educated by the women's movement there, I just want to say thank you. I remember that I was trying to write something about Gandhi at the time, and I was going around interviewing people. And I was talking to a woman who I knew, had known him. And she listened to me patiently. And finally she said, well, my dear, we taught him everything he knew. Because there was a massive women's movement of the time. Of course, the March to the Sea for Salt was a women's movement. The movement against sati was a women's movement. And it was from that he learned about movements. So it's not to exclude or to count Gandhi as anything less, but to say we can't talk about him by himself. We have to talk about the whole community.
Yeah, right. So recently, I just want to share one thing, that there's a village in India who has seen that the highest suicide of women in that village. So because it's related to Mount the Sati Pratha as well. So as you know already about, as you have already worked in India and very much aware about the Indian society, so now what they are doing, in fact with my mother recently, as my father passed away, the women came to my mother and they forced my mother to just like put out her bangles and jewelries, and she loved to wear nose pin, so they forced her to just take it out. So I all she although she denied, she also has learned so many things, and as we all are learning together. So that village has experienced a high number of suicide of women because the community forced, when the husband died, so the entire community forced her to wear the white cloth, and don't like just take out the all jewelries, and not allowed to talk to the people, does not she is not allowed to go outside the house. So she like already she is in very like deep pain. That time she needs support of the society. The time she has to go and experience the other way to live the lives. And that was the same time when the communities is forcing and then saying again and again that what you will do, your life is end now, or like nothing is your life in your life. So, everything is like gone with your husband. So now so what they started doing, they just committing the suicide in the uh, uh, शायद उसको क्या बोलते हैं in the well. So the administration did to prevent that thing. They just cover the all the well of the village to just stop the suicides. They never ever think to change the behavior of the society. They never worked on that the core of the problems, that they have to talk to the people. They stop doing such kind of things, rather than they are like just thinking that if there is no well, so they will not commit the suicide. No, like if the person is in a depression, there can be thousand reason, a thousand way of the suicide. But like this is how the uh, like people think, and like doing the their what we say their actions to just prevent that, like without knowing the actual problem.
Thank you. So, Ibrahim, do you have anything that you would like to say about that? I also know there have been some other questions here that have come for you just about in the chat about your perspective as a man. So I want to give you a chance to bring your voice in here, since I know our trio has brought forth our perspective. I want to make sure that yours is shining as well.
Okay, thank you. Yes, there's someone asked about giving up for marriage. I say no. Marriage is about union. It's about love. It's about peace. We see two people coming together, to create a family. So we can't do away from marriage. But my point is, I always tell people whom I interact with, if you're not ready for it, don't go into it, because we are living in communities where marriage has become a death sentence, especially to women and girls in Uganda and many parts of the world. And that resonates the fact that probably some people go into this institution unprepared. And we have also seen very good marriages doing well. We have seen people making to over 100 years doing together, bonding together. So I reiterate the fact that violence, instability has no place in marriage. And also, in the interest of time, I would like to touch a little bit about, there was a question on the, was about engaging men in peace building. Yes, our work mostly is relying on working with men and boys as agents of change in building peace in communities. We are doing this through, of course, creating networks and subgroups at community level, creating debating platforms between men and women to see that we provide room for exchange of views. Because when there is a roadblock to amplifying voices, again, that block turns out to be a little bit violent. So we're engaging men as agents of change, and also creating intercommunal alliances where we engage communities into sports activities to build more stronger, friendly, and resilient communities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I can't believe how quickly this time has flown by. It's flown by so quickly. And I'm in awe because I know I see these beautiful messages where people are saying, can we go over? Can we do more? And so what I want to say is, I think it's beautiful that we've been in conversation together, and there's so much generative conversation happening in the chat that there's been so much of the things that we are calling for, that the threads that I'm going to try to bring back together quickly for us, to the empathy, the listening, the deep listening. I heard that in all of your messages, deep listening to each other and ourselves, bridging across difference. We had a note here, and that, I think calls for another conversation as well around how do we bridge across vast divides and maintain and sustain peace in the context of crisis and religion and difference. And the conversations that have happened today have really been about bringing forth our vulnerability, our heart, our questions, our curiosity, and also our respect and dignity for each other's humanity, which I've witnessed with the three of you and all of the people who have been a part of this call, but also expressing your human connection, sympathy and empathy for the crises that are affecting people around the world and in your own communities. So I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity and honor to bear witness to your conversation. And to everyone who asked a question, I hope you can continue these conversations on social media and jump in on the Global Citizens social media conversations and pages and have those talking circles, like Gloria said, in your own communities to bring forth more love, more peace, more justice, and more equality. And I also wanted to just say, in the spirit of this 50th anniversary of the Global Citizens Circle, I surely wish you another 50 years and beyond. And I would like to hand it over to Theo for something very special. So everyone, I know we're coming to our end, but this is a very special end. And over to you, Theo.
Thank you, Jamia, and thank you, Gloria and Firdos and Ibrahim and everybody who was part of making this program so amazing. And I agree that it should be. I wish it could go on and on, as many people have said. But please know that we will be sharing the highlights from the chat with everybody. We'll be sharing the recording as well. But I'd like to take a moment to say that it is my honor and privilege to present to Gloria the Global Citizens Circle Award. And as it reads, these awards have been earned in the workplace, prison cells, courts, peaceful protests, protest marches, classrooms, boardrooms, and newsrooms, around kitchen tables and in neighborhood lanes. We honor courageous and compassionate members of our global human family. We can't think of a more courageous and compassionate person than you, Gloria. Someone who started young and has stayed at it for so long. And we are very, very grateful and honored to have you with us today. Thank you.
Well, I now have a more motive to live a very long time to earn this award. I discovered online some time ago that there was a woman in the Himalayas who was 130. So this is my new goal.
Yes, good. We'll all be pushing you on.
So I will strive to earn and live up to this. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to turn it over now to Tito Jackson to just close this out. Tito, are you there?
Thank you so much, Theo, and congratulations, Gloria. And I say 140. Why stop at 130? We absolutely need you. I want to thank Jamia for being our conductor, Firdos, as well as Ibrahim. I would just note that I just want to close with a quote and also an ask. The quote is from the Talmud, and it says, "Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now. Love mercy now. Walk humbly now. You are not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it." The work that has been done is profound and it's immense. And I want to thank those who do this on a daily basis. I also want to acknowledge two of my sheroes, And those are the two sisters who do this work for the global citizens on a daily basis. You ladies make amazing things happen. And I would just note this organization is 50 years strong, and we want to be able to be 50 years stronger. And I think Gloria noted, there is a reason for us to continue to move forward and do the work and be this platform. So what we need you to do, however much it is to, I would say go in your pocket, but that doesn't go so well with putting it into the computer. But I would love for you to log on and consider donating to the Global Citizens Circle. This organization has done profound and robust things across the world. And the next 50 years, as we know, definitely from what's going on in the United States, this organization is needed more and more. And if we look at all of the places in the world that courageous, bold conversations need to happen, this platform is one that I believe is so relevant and potentially even more relevant now than when it started. So the link is in the chat. Please go forward and continue to be a global citizen and make the connection with the Global Citizen Circle. Thank you for the first, but not the last of this year. And let's keep having these conversations. Back to you, Theo.
Thank you, Tito. Thank you very much. I just want to let everybody know, I know people have to run. It's a little over the hour, so please feel free to do that. But as we always do with Global Citizen Circle, we keep it open for further conversation. For any of you who'd like to stay with us, we're happy to stay on for a bit. But please know that there's no obligation to do that. And we welcome any conversation at this point. And I also want to take a moment to thank all of the people behind the scenes who've been helping us, from Jasmine Liu, who helped with the behind the scenes sharing of the video and the award. And I want to thank Sean Cook for helping us with making sure that tech worked behind the scenes. And of course, I would love to thank Michael Lockett and Marguerite Mariama, who did such a beautiful job with the opening introductory video. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't thank my wonderful thought partner and the Assistant Director of Global Citizens Circle, Phoebe Delarabidi. So thank you all, and lovely to see everybody, and I can't wait to see you all again.
I just want to say, as the perfect example of how Global Citizen Circle has been fostering intergenerational learning, two-directional learning for 50 years, Tito Jackson, who joined the board when he was a college student, is now, some 30 years later, the chair of the board. So when you just heard from Tito, he's one of the countless people around the world who started young, stayed at it, and that's what this is all about. So please invite your young friends, your older friends, your friends of all ages, races, nationalities, perspectives, to come and join us for these. These are the circles that you talked about, Gloria. These are the talking circles. That's what circles have always been, not webinars, broadcasting, but talking circles.
Thank you, Nadine. And Nadine, I should have thanked you as well, because you are the reason that we are being blessed with Gloria's presence in this circle. And we really appreciate that you reached out to her, your longtime friend, to invite her to be a part of this.